Howdy, howdy, fellas. Got another World of Warships Legends game here because that's all I do. This is another Alaska game on Tears of the Desert. That's the name of this map. And here is my build, Einstein. I did, in fact, switch to Mikawa. So you can see Scott Mikawa and all damage, plus the target locator, which, man, I just love it on the cruisers. It's so good. Maybe it's a crutch, but I love it. So yeah, here I do miss fully packed. On the Alaska, though, it does have the 3 heals, which are nice, but sometimes that extra consumables would come in handy. But I do like this little extra range, and I keep the turret traverse. I don't think it comes in... it's not this... I actually had 2 pretty... poignant matches in the Alaska recently that I like, which one should I make a video out of? But I think this one's just a better overall match, so I ended up picking this one. I might make the other one later, but that one was really like, this is why I like the turret traverse. So anyway, in this map, when I get this center spawn, especially in a cruiser, I'm always a little torn about what to do. But especially when it has this cap layout, going up to that middle island, you see where our destroyer is. Sometimes you can get away with that and you can get like some really spicy stuff, but there's just too many ways. Like the stuff at A pushes around to the west, they can shoot you from that side. If this side over at C pushes too far, they can shoot you from this side. And it's just like, sure, you have a good central position and you can shoot stuff, but inevitably you get shot from both sides. Like if your team doesn't cooperate, if I were in like a division or something, I could see an aggressive position like that maybe being more beneficial, but I've kind of stopped going that way. Sometimes I post up on this island and shoot through the middle if stuff's hanging out in the middle, but in general, most of the time, they're going to go to these sides, especially with this cap layout. So I've taken a few shots, long-range shots. None of these are amazing, but we are over here. Our destroyer's in the cap. I'm trying to help him, but I'm also turning out because even with my improved concealment, I am still spotted. Get a tasty whack on the Timeraire? I do not know how to say that, but here's the Minotaur. This is like, oh man. Is there a little lag there, it seems like. I don't know. Is there a more fun ship to shoot than a Minotaur? I don't know if there is. At least in something with big guns. A Shimakaze, as this pops up, I'm like, oh, well, that's the other answer, is a Shimakaze. Minos, they're playing with fire regardless of whether they're a smoke mino or not, but like, man, they're fun to shoot. Like, basically all Citadel. Like, explodey. So yeah, we're watching our destroyer over here, and he sees the Mino coming. I'm trying to get the Mino off, but the Mino's kind of doing the thing. He's like right behind the island. It looks like he even beaches there. So like, I can't get to the Mino, and our destroyer. If I were in that destroyer seeing the Minotaur come, like, I would have left earlier. Like, yes, you want to stay in the cap, you want to contest it, but when a Minotaur is pushing on you, a few kilometers away, even if they're not radar, it still has, I think, almost 5-kilometer sonar. Maybe it's exactly 5. It's like 549, a little bit higher or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it's high. Like, you got to get out of there. So now here we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 2 now. Once our destroyer went down. So yeah, this is my lot in life. Somehow I'm always on the overloaded flank. Some of it is intentional. I have to be honest with myself, and I actually think this is a reasonable strategy. Is a lot of times I go where my team isn't. If I see them all going to A, if most of what was in that kind of middle spawn is going to A, like, I'll go over here to C because no one else is here. We need it. We can also see both of our destroyers are down, but we got one of their destroyers and we just got the battleship, so it's like, okay, like, this is alright. I'm hoping that some of these torpedoes will hit this Soviet-Russia battleship. But yeah, again, like, I'm kind of in a spot where I really need to get closer to this island because the 2 cruisers, the Mino and the Jinan, both have an angle on me. And so if I just back out of this fight, I don't really want to be this close to the Soviet battleship. But you saw I even kind of took a bit of a risky turn. I'm trying to a little bit estimate his reload so I can just get closer to the island so I'm not getting free farmed by those cruisers. And you'll see... that's a mistake that battleships often make, is like, oh, I'm getting shot Like, I just need to run away. But those cruisers would have been able to shoot me the entire time. They actually were able to shoot me a lot longer than I thought they would. Moving in, I thought I was going to get closer to the island and just have it like in the angle sooner than they did. So they hit me a lot more than I thought. And I think one of the, yeah, like, this guy, I think those are overpins, but it's hurting. Like, it does add up. The Alaska has kind of borderline super heals, but there's only so much they can do when you're getting pelted by so many ships. Land some nice shots in his superstructure there at close range, but yeah, look, I'm dodging torpedoes. I've got the Mino off to my left. I've got this guy charging me in. Thankfully, I think it's a friendly Jinan is kind of back. He's just putting that hurt. I think he snuck all of those right into that weak upper belt on Alaska. That is definitely a thing. You really want the Alaska armor profile to be kind of dead on. That nose sticks up a little bit in the front. Sometimes it can be hard to get shells over it. You can see it right there. Like, it's got that little uplift, and when you get close enough, it's hard for the enemy ships to actually even get to your turrets and superstructure over that 32 millimeter bow. Soviet Russia has 16-inch guns, so he would bounce it, but I was turned just enough. I was trying to get the angle from those torpedoes, and like, it's just not the most maneuverable ship. It's not a battleship, but it's not the most maneuverable, and I'm still spotted by the destroyer, and so yeah, I'm definitely, first, I've taken a ton of damage. Hey, look, it's just like my last Alaska match. I will say, as I mentioned in the previous one, it's like sometimes it feels, here, I'm beaching intentionally to try to dodge torpedoes. If they're sending torpedoes my way, they probably predicted I was going to go around, so here I actually just very intentionally run into that if the torpedoes are coming, they're going to scoot right past. And then, man, Mino, like, they're fun to shoot, but that AP, you saw it just like 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Like, it adds up so fast. I was talking to one of my friends about this with the Minotaur, and it's one of those ships that, like, you can be having a slow match, and you get just a minute or two of farming, and it's like, oh wow, I've got 150,000 or 200,000 damage. Like, it just really puts out the damage if it has a space to do it. So here I'm just trying to be a little unpredictable. Bounced off the island. Am I going to go around, or am I going to back up? I'm looking at my target locator, and I'm assuming the Jinan has, headed around left. So here he is trying to reset me. I'm trying to sneak something over the edge, but it looks like my front guns hit the edge of the island, so that's a bummer. Presumably, maybe, kind of, sort of, he might be torpedoing that gap. I'm going to go around this way. If the Shimakaze that's still off to my right, I guess that's kind of southeast, launch torpedoes, maybe he would expect me to go either there or around, or not just like stop right here in the middle. I don't know. You just try to, these mind games, hope, juke, do the best you can. I was hoping that he was closer to me. I actually kind of expected him to be to my northeast, but then actually, in retrospect, if my target locator is still on the Jinan, I should have known that he was further away and probably not in radar range, because the Jinan is like right at the edge, and so if my target locator is pointing at him, the Shima's probably further away. So that wasn't my best radar, and again, that's one of the reasons I'm making these videos, is to watch this back and kind of think through, like, yeah, you know what? Not in the heat of the moment, that wasn't a good radar. It was kind of a hopeful radar, but it wasn't a good one. So yeah, making sure the torpedoes aren't there. Oh, I've had people say before, like, oh, why do you use the callouts? It's stuff like that. Like, there's been a couple of games recently where I've had torpedo callouts that, like, weren't on my screen at all. And it's like, oh, I've got torpedoes to starboard or port or whatever it is. Like, that's useful information. So I do actually listen to those callouts when your commander tells you stuff like that. It matters. It's important. So yeah, I don't always want to just have a commander speaking, schoolgirl Japanese or whatever it is that they speak. Yeah, so this match. Sorry, I'm talking. Sometimes I talk too much. Sorry, guys. I know that, but I got a lot to say. There's a lot of thoughts up in this head, and they come out sometimes. Jinan, I haven't shot it a lot. I think it's got like more or less that kind of normal Pan-Asian cruiser armor scheme, like presumably relatively thin, presumably narrow. I don't know. I've that and the Dalian, I've had some like weird salvos on, and I think it's just because they're such a narrow ship. Like, they are just very small. Your shells don't always have time to arm inside of the ship, even if they hit enough armor, whatever. So I've gotten some troll salvos on those since it's been out, and so I'm still kind of trying to figure out where the best place to shoot that thing is. Seattle is another ship that I just don't see often enough, and I constantly am like, oh, where do I shoot this thing? Obviously, you want the Citadel, but it's not a it's between the turrets, and like I know the stuff in theory, but sometimes it's like it just doesn't work the way you want it. If everything was just theoretical, I'd be like, sink that ship and it would work. Anyway, sorry, I'm way off, way out of pocket. So we're 3-on-3. We've got 2 caps. They've got 1. We are just barely up on points. We've only had C for a little bit. They're going to cap A any second now. We can see that they've cleared out our team at A, and they have a Yamato. No, sorry, we have a Yamato. I just looked at it. Yeah, so they have a Laria, a Des Moines, and the Jinan, and we have our Jinan, me, and I think it's a Yamato. And so we can kind of finish out this match, but you can see the Laria, it's pushing into D. The Jinan's like, man, doing it. Yeah, Yamato, okay. It's like squid smokescreen, torpedo dump. Like, here comes all the torpedoes all the time, everywhere. Good luck, Laria. Like, there's a bunch coming. Ooh, but then I see our Jinan's hopefully dodging those two. You always hope. I see him coming, but I can't really tell how close they are to him. And this is exactly why I've been kind of hovering behind this island instead of going out. I want to shoot that Jinan, but he's got torpedoes. I'm not ready to eat those. This is a close game. I think I need to stay alive, similar to my last one. Oh, yeah, stay alive, conserve the health. That's one of the things that I wanted to point out. I did mention last time that I feel like my Alaska feels cursed, but I think this is maybe a match where it illustrates something that I might not have been doing as well in the past, and I'm trying to work on, is I made kind of a more aggressive play in the beginning to take out the ships at sea, take control of C, and then I've done, I think, a pretty good job kind of playing around low health. So, I use my heals, I use my health. I've had low health, but I haven't actually taken any damage in quite a while. So it's like I think I really effectively used my available effective health in this match, and then I'm still alive to impact this kind of late stage match. And I think that's a really hard balance to strike. It's not always something you're necessarily in control of. I certainly have had matches where C and like I get, the Mino and the Jinan both come around the corners at the same time and both torpedo me from different sides, and like there's only so much you can do about that. But I think that's one thing that I did particularly well in this match, is had that like early game impact, but then also stay alive for the late game and manage to continue impacting the late game. Because if I'm not alive for that, I don't know, maybe the Jinan does take that Laria down, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe the Laria is able to sink the Yamato and then still has enough health to go for the Jinan, or maybe probably more likely is this Des Moines that's still hanging around out there is able to find and sink the Jinan, or just go to D and cap. Like there's a lot of different ways that if I'm not here, this might work out differently. But maybe they win anyway. I don't know. You never know for sure. I've mentioned before and in the other Alaska video, like I do like to stay alive. If I can impact the end of the match, like I can control what I do. I can't control what they do, so I tend to think I have a better chance if I'm alive. Of course, I'm only showing you guys videos where I play well. there certainly are ones where I mess up. I had a 500 XP daring game the other day. That was really fun. But yeah, this Des Moines, he's low enough. This game might have been a win anyway. But again, like you see, our Jinan is like, yeah, got him. Our Jinan is behind the island. Like, I don't know. I can't fully tell. And like, oh man, that's some concealment. 8.9 kilometers. All right. And this salvo, I remember specifically, 1 overpin. I was so annoyed. It's like everything. Oh, but again, I'm using this island to protect myself from torpedoes. Presumably they're coming from that angle. I don't realistically think there was a way he could have moved enough to get them from a side on either side before I saw him, so I know they're coming from that way. That is the shot I wanted the first time. And then, is it gonna hit? I don't know. Is it gonna hit? I think I spoiled it in the title. Yeah, it hits. Kraken. I get it. Nice. And a dreadnought. So let's see how we did. How do you guys think we did? I think we did all right. So we've got 178,000 damage. Oh, I want to show 3,700 XP. Kraken. Yeah, I did it. I want to start showing the economy because you can make money in LT. It's fine.